Hello, I'm Dr. Rachel Levine.
That's a good boy.
As an openly transgender woman, I would like to highlight the importance of diversity. Diversity should be welcomed and actually celebrated.
The power of freedom is that ability to be oneself isn't necessarily hindered, but is rather celebrated. I'm a gender fluid individual who walks the halls of Congress. Talk about the power of being free every day to hear my stilettos click on those marble floors and yet know that I deserve to be in that room just as much as anybody else.
Wait for it.
A top nuclear waste official no longer employed with the Energy Department after being accused of stealing luggage at an airport for the second time this year.
Alarming.
Think about that.
What the?
Hello, welcome back to the channel, my little piggies. And of course, we've been talking about it. The left is freaking out about Trump's picks.
And there you have it, the dumbest cabinet secretary pick you could possibly imagine, Fox's Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. You could not get a dumber choice than... No, sorry, too soon. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy leading the Department of Government Efficiency, otherwise known as DOGE. I have learned my lesson. I will no longer declare that we have already reached the dumbest part of the Trump administration, because I promise you, every subsequent minute gets dumber.
These joyous cries will play throughout the holiday season, both day and night.
And of course, none of the nominees sent shivers down the yellow spines of Democrats more than Matt Gaetz being nominated for Attorney General. But in the last few hours, he has just come out and said he is withdrawing and dropping his bid to be Trump's Attorney General.
Fuck.
But let's not shed a tear for Matt Gaetz, for it will no longer be distracting everybody. I mean, the guy was probably not going to get in. Wouldn't have taken much to stop him. But hey, you know what we're here to talk about today? RFK, baby.
It was RFK's tweet yesterday. Did you see this?
Wow.
I mean, this is pretty
war
interesting.
on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, peptide stem cells, raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds, ivermectin, hydrocolloids of vitamins, foods, sunshine, exercise, nutritionals, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by pharma. If you work for the FDA and are part of this corrupt system, I have two messages for you. Preserve your records, and two, pack your bags.
Wow.
Damn.
You know why? You know what number one is? Because if you don't preserve your records, in addition to prosecution, we're going to go after you for obstruction of justice.
If RFK, so let's just say hypothetically, whose job would RFK take? Who do you think it would be? Rachel Levine? Could you show who's in charge of America's health right now? Can you show RFK's ripped, jacked, he's old? That's who he's going to take the job from.
Still serving as director of whatever she does?
Let me explain something to you. That's the job. He's going to take that person's job.
Oh, thank God. And I don't think this is one appointment that's going to have any trouble getting through. Let's take a look at why RFK is a way better choice than Rachel Levine.
Happy Pride Month, and actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
Doritos, Cheez-Its, Captain Crunch, gummy bears. Everyone knows that these are junk foods, so maybe you wouldn't be too surprised to see that the ingredients include a lot of poisons, including a harmful yellow dye called tatrazine.
Polysorbate 60 and yellow dye number 5.
Or yellow dye number 5.
Twinkie, you don't need it. You don't need it, man. You do need a yodel, though.
This yellow dye, tartrazine, causes tumors, asthma, developmental delays, neurological damage, ADD, ADHD, hormone disruption, gene damage, anxiety, depression, intestinal injuries.
At Health and Human Services, we're focusing on health equity. We are working, for example, on the impacts of climate change on health. We're working on environmental justice.
Not only do the chemicals pollute our bodies, the same way that they pollute the soil, but corporate interests have hijacked the USDA's dietary guidelines. We're going to ban the worst agricultural chemicals that are already prohibited in other countries.
When it comes to making sure kids are healthy and happy, I know how important care that affirmed someone's true identity can be. Gender-affirming care is life-saving, medically necessary, age-appropriate, and a critical tool for healthcare providers.
I asked God for 19 years to put me in a position where I could end the chronic disease epidemic and bring health back to our children. And in August, God sent me Donald Trump.
We have safe and effective vaccines, and it's just very important at this time for everyone to go out and get vaccinated. The world needs as many vaccines as we can get.
Of the 72 vaccine doses now mandated, essentially mandated, they're recommended, but they're really mandated for American children, none of them, not one, has ever been subject to a pre-licensing placebo-controlled trial.
Yes, they have.
No.
Yes, they have.
You can read HHS's admission that not a single one has ever been safety tested pre-licensing. If I'm wrong, show me the test, show me the study. You won't be able to.
They can't stand this guy.
Yes.
They hate Bobby.
Yep.
The establishment cannot stand anything about Bobby whatsoever. And you're going to give him a little bit of power to go and say, I'm sorry, let me see. Oh my God. They want to find out what the hell happened with Fauci, NIH, CDC, all that stuff, right?
I want accountability, and I want people like you. I love that you said that, Pat. Fauci, that yesterday, Fauci was like, oh God, if he puts RFK in there. RFK wrote The Real Dr. Fauci. That I cannot, I'm happy you made that point.
And I'm so glad this is going to happen. I already feel so much relief. Like, we're supposed to trust these people after all this time.
Stay home. Stay home, cut out anything that's non-essential, stay with your family unit. But it's young people. I mean, we're talking about people in their 30s and 40s who are becoming so ill that they're dying and leaving behind their young children and families as orphans.
We all know Vivek and Elon are going to be slashing.
And it'll all be transparent. Musk said on X that we will also have a leaderboard for most insanely dumb spending of your tax dollars. This will both be extremely tragic and entertaining. He also wants to help bring down America's $34 trillion debt.
We got Megyn Kelly here talking with Glenn Greenwald about the elite establishment's brains exploding over the RFK nomination for HHS.
They are so afraid of him. I'm not going to lie. I'm enjoying their terror. I'm enjoying their terror around RFKJ. Yes, he is very unusual. Yes, he has very negative things to say about the FDA. This is why we're hiring him. This is why we love him. This is why he had a groundswell of support behind him, which is what made Trump value his endorsement, which is now what's making Trump give him this position. But instead, we're getting sound bites like this from former HHS Secretary under Obama, Kathleen Sebelius.
So this could be very dangerous. I think it's totally disqualifying for anyone who seeks to lead the major health agency in this country and one of the leaders in the world to just unequivocally say there is no safe and effective vaccine. Eliminating scientists, ignoring the facts, not paying attention to data, and using the agency to discourage and scare people away from medical breakthroughs, I think is really terrifying.
Not paying attention to data. That's the problem, Glenn, with RFKJ.
When you were on the break, I happened to see this CNN panel where they were talking about Tulsi Gabbard, all of them opposed, of course, and their argument was if someone's going to lead the intelligence agencies, they should believe in the intelligence agencies and support what they've done. It's like, no, that is not the Trump agenda. The Trump agenda is that these intelligence agencies are broken, they're corrupt. So of course you want to put someone in there who sees the same problems. Same with the healthcare system. First of all, RFK Jr. his whole life has been not just a loyal Democrat, but the kind of liberal that people would like. Obama strongly considered him, making him the head of the EPA because he was an environmental lawyer battling against large corporations and their toxic dumping in our river streams and our water supply. And it was during COVID when people decided that he was somehow, you know, off the reservation or out of the question of decency because he was questioning a lot of the orthodoxies coming from Anthony Fauci and his little horde that turned out to be not just questionable, but false.
I think someone owes me an apology.
This is the irony, Megan, is that I've talked to RFK before, I've interviewed him. His primary belief is that the entire healthcare apparatus, the agencies that regulate big pharma, big food, big agriculture, the insurance companies, are all in the pocket of these industries, that they're regulatorily captured by these industries, and they do whatever these big companies want. They approve, you know, medicines before they're properly tested or vaccines that will benefit these companies' bottom line. They allow food companies to put in all sorts of toxic ingredients that make its production cheaper, but make its negative impact on our health much worse. These were all left-wing ideas for decades, the idea that these industries are captured by big industry. This is RFK's primary view of what is wrong with our healthcare system. To watch Democrats turn around and attack him for that, similar to how it's some kind of a problem that Tulsi Gabbard questions wars and questions the intelligence agencies, also a long-time left-wing cause, shows this realignment of the Democratic Party with these big industries. It's why they appeal to affluent voters. It's why they appeal to the ruling class voters. And Donald Trump ran against that.
I got to admit, I love Megyn Kelly. She has such an energy. But something that Glenn was talking about there is it's kind of like what my avatar is all about. That robber baron type Republican money-grubbing pig. You know, the evil 80s movie bad guy, the corporate dickhead. You know, it seems like all of that is switched now. Those white corporate older men Republican types, it's kind of switched now. It's all the liberal side. It's the Democrat side, you know, and it's very interesting how Glenn was alluding to that. And it feels very true, and it's a slow awakening for the public, but it's happening. And thank you very much for watching this video here. Hopefully it's going to happen for us here at the channel. Please like and subscribe, follow us. It is the best thing you could do. Leave a comment would be absolutely next level. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. And here's Don Jr. talking about what could happen and possibilities about some of the appointees not getting in and their backup choices. Thank you. We'll see you on the next vid.
Yeah, I think the reality this time is we actually know what we're doing. We actually know who the good guys and the bad guys are. We know who the guys are fake. And it's about surrounding my father with people who are both competent and loyal. They will deliver on his promises. They will deliver on his message. They are not people who think they know better as unelected bureaucrats. And so a big part of that process is just something that we didn't understand in 2016, where he came to Washington, D.C. He had no experience. He didn't know any of the 4,000 people that make up the Plum Book, which are the presidential appointees. So now we have a great understanding of that, and we can have a cabinet that is so powerful in delivering the America First message that the American people clearly voted for on November 5th.
Will you have a specific role in the administration? How do you see as the best way to help serve your father and the nation?
No, I don't want to roll in the administration. I want to be very active until January 20th. I want to make sure the people that surround him are the greatest people we can possibly assemble, the smartest minds. You know, when you look at it, not just this cabinet, but the people who are on the outside, whether it's Elon, Bobby Kennedy obviously being in the cabinet on the health side, Vivek, who you had on earlier in the show. I mean, we have an incredible opportunity, perhaps a once-in-a-generation opportunity to really make a difference with people, minds that you wouldn't otherwise find in government, frankly. It's truly something that's epic. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I just want to make sure that the rest of the cabinet that surrounds my father is able and willing to deliver on that message and that promise to the American people. And when we do, I think we can do incredible things.
Has your father talked about backup plans? I mean, what if some of these people are not confirmed? There's been a lot of backlash over some of them.
Listen, there's always, ideas. We have lists of people. We're not just randomly picking a name out of a hat. We're showing him lists of 10 or 12 people for every position. So we do have backup plans, but I think we're obviously going with the strongest candidates first. Some of them are going to be controversial. They're controversial because they'll actually get things done. The swamp doesn't want that, so we're going to go all in and make sure that those people have the best chance at getting confirmed as possible, because they're the people who are most effective. When you see that kind of backlash, generally speaking, it's because it's a threat to the Uni Party in Washington, D.C. They don't want to see change. They want it to be business as usual. They don't want to be disrupted. That's their meal plan. That's their ticket. That hasn't worked for the American people. It hasn't served them well. We haven't had the most competent people in government in a very long time, and it's why you've had the disaster. It's also why you saw the response from the American people. Despite the overwhelming majority of the mainstream media and big tech going against my father, the American people spoke, and they spoke loudly.